Hello everyone. Today I want to talk to you about your life path and your life purpose. I want to specify the difference between the two and how you can reach them, of course. So we often talk about our life purpose, how to reach our life purpose. Well, our main life purpose, for everyone is actually to find joy through our life experiences. Is to create a life that brings us joy. And that's our main life purpose. And how to know you're on the right life path, we create, a life path. It's also called a timeline. Every time we make a decision, we create a different timeline. And it's when you feed that timeline with consistent choices that are, congruent to that initial decision, that you follow a specific life path. And so how do you know you on the right life path for yourself, that it's aligned to your soul? Well, as I'm Claire Cavignac. I'm an Akashic Records consultant. And so I do many different soul profile sessions, soul alignment sessions, relationship sessions, looking into the Akashic records of my clients to find who they truly are at soul level, and then clearing any blocks and restrictions that are preventing them from connecting to their soul and being aligned to their soul. So why do I do that? Um, when I give you, a soul profile session, when I let you know about who you are at soul level, it's for you to connect to your vital force energy source, your own vital force energy source. And so I give you, personal details, personal characteristics, so that it's easier for you to be connected to your inner authority, to take your power back in creating your life experiences. And so it's really to help you validate what's an aligned choice or not, according to your specific soul profile. And it's really to help you connect to your higher self and have the right intuition in knowing what is good for you or not. As you know, a choice can be really good for you and really negative for someone else. Why? Because it's going to bring you a lot of joy in your life, whereas for someone else, it might be, totally different, as you know. So that's how you are aligned at soul level. It's, clearing the way, any negativities, negative perceptions or blocks that are preventing you from connecting to your own source of vital force energy. And when you connect to that source of vital force energy, then you become more creative, and you can see and feel that you are the creator of your own experience, and you can connect more easily to that joy in your life. And that's really the main purpose for everyone, is to have that joyful experience. So I really wanted to bring that forward, because many times, that's how I do as well my sessions, in astrology and numerology as well. Any session, actually, energy healing, any session I do, I always have that in mind. Why am I doing it? Is actually to help the person in front of me to create more joy in their life. That's the main purpose for everyone. Okay, so there's no when if you have a session with a practitioner, any session, astrology, numerology, human design, any session, it's really important to have in mind that that those sessions are all about informations around knowing yourself more, um, and giving you like the color of your soul, really, some kind of coloring um, that you have. But then you have an infinity of possibilities in front of you, an infinity of timelines of life path in front of you that you can choose from. And without that freedom of choice, which is a universal law, we wouldn't feel any joy in creating our life. If there was a specific destiny or life path, written in stone, and if you knew about it from birth, you would just be totally you wouldn't want to live your life. You will be like, what am I here for? What do I want to create? You would actually lose motivation in creating anything in your life. And that's what happens when we see people who are, for instance, too connected, that they've connected themselves, they made that choice, to actually follow, uh, for instance, a family path, of that was shown to them, and that's what they chose to do. um, you can see that they do it, but then at some point they're going to feel bored, and they're going to, lack of any joy and creativity, lack of connection to their emotions, to their inner child, and they will just be like, on automatic mode, like a robot in life, and they will feel that they will lose the sense of truth of their soul, of connection to their soul. Because as our mind, our ego loves safety. It will always create um, a sense of safety for everything. Habits, shortcuts to do things in a easier way, repetition, routines. That's how our brain functions. To help us. But our soul loves uncomfort. Our soul loves new things, exploring new ideas, curiosity. Our soul is creative and needs that creativity to have its space in your life. So what you want is you want to change things around if you have been connecting to your ego too much, at the level of the fourth dimension, which is between the third dimension and the fifth dimension, which is the level of our thoughts. If you've been vibrating too much at the frequency of your thoughts, you're going to feel really stuck in your life, in your routines, in your habits, and you might feel a lot of anxiety, and get into depression mode, because there's no sparkle in you. There's not that, light of your soul, pushing you to do things differently in a new way, to create, to change. Your soul loves change. So yeah, that's how your soul, gets into your life. So if you want to vibrate more at the level of the fifth dimension and be more aware that you are a spiritual being living a physical experience here on earth, then you need to make more space for your creativity in your life and for some uncomfort in doing things, because of doing things that are new and uncomfortable for you, pushing you out of your comfort zone. It's going to help your soul realigned and finding that right space in your life, and joy and creativity can come into your life, and that's when you are following your life purpose. It's actually really simple. Okay. And so what I wanted to add to that is, I can see that during sessions, um, there's sometimes that um, a habit, that can be conscious or unconscious, wanting to change your life circumstances to feel better, thinking that you need to change the outside um, to get to feel better and the inside. That's often the case when you feel disempowered and taking actions. You're into victimization mode, and you feel you don't have the power inside of you um, to find that joy, to connect to that joy. And so that's when a lot of people think they need to change their life circumstances. So, change their jobs, change their relationships, or their environments. It's going to be kind of their first instinct to shake up things and to connect to their soul and to their inner joy. So, that there's always that instinct, of course, that life instinct that, to connect to joy. Um, but it's kind of often done in a disempowering way, thinking that things outside of you need to change really quickly to shake things up. But what I can see is, you can start little by little and, doing some little changes, um, just enough to create new pathways in your brain. So it can be really small changes, in your life. Changing your home decoration, the way that the furniture is, how the furniture is in your home. It can be eating some new food, changing the way you're going to work in the morning, going into a different store, doing grocery shopping somewhere else. It's really just little new habits during the day, just to shake things up in your brain so that it gets a bit disoriented, and um, and to let that space for your soul to come in, and to let those new ideas, inspirations to do things in a different way, and for your creativity to come in. So and then it can make you curious a bit more about things in your life, about people, learning new skills, you wanting to do things differently, and inviting more curiosity into your life, more adventures, more different ways of doing things. And then, maybe you're going to be doing your work, your current job in a different way, in a more joyful way. You're going to relate to others differently because you are more open to um, a new way of doing things in your life. So it's going to, of course, affect your relationships, and it's going to change your relationships from inside out. So, it's more about letting that space in your life for creativity and for change, for new ideas coming in. And then, things might change, your outside circumstances might change. If you find that still, after some time, there's no joy at all in your workplace, maybe there will be a time to make that move and change. But, the first step is really to be more open to that creativity and to that joy in your life. Because as you know, if you make those changes of your outside circumstances without switching that mindset, you might just create new life circumstances, but in the same way, you know. So change your, get into a new relationship or a new job. So, you know, maybe at first it's going to feel good for a few months, and then you're going to get back to square one, doing things the same way because um, things, you know, haven't really changed at the mental level, and you haven't made enough space in your life for your soul to realign and for you to connect to your higher self, you know, having that connection, that deep connection. So yeah, I really wanted to, you know, point out that difference between life path and life purpose. You have an infinity of choices in front of you of how to do things in different ways, how to create that joy in your life in different ways. There's no, you know, there's not one way to follow. Otherwise, you would just be stuck in that sense of obligation to follow, you know, that path. And when, as you know, when you are in that state, you know, energetic state of obligation, that's when you don't connect to your soul. That's when you can have some misalignments and make negative choices for yourself because you're going to make choices without putting enough attention on those choices of, you know, of knowing if you feel that joy or not. It's going to be, you're going to make joy choices that feel obligated to you, you know, and so they won't nourish your soul at all. You know, that's the issue, and that's what I see during my sessions. So yeah, so the main thing to take from this video today is really to focus on what brings you joy in your life. You know, so it's really, really simple. And, you know, you focus on that during a week or two, changing little things in your life, you know, you know, that are very simple to change, not big life changes. And you will see that it will inspire you to connect more to that inner joy. And then the bigger changes will be much easier to do because you will have that habit to listen more to that joy inside of you. And that joy is your soul speaking to you. Now, that's how your soul connects to you, and that's how you connect to your soul. You know, it goes together. Okay, so I hope this video helped you today. Please share it with, you know, people who need to know how to follow the life purpose and what is the life path. They have many of them, and you know, what do they need to do to connect to their soul and realign to their soul in a simple way. Look for joy in their life. And please subscribe to this channel if you want to listen to more videos that will help you to make that soul alignment in your life. And for tips as well, you know, to get that connection, to refine that connection to your spiritual being in your life. And yeah, and I will talk to you in another video. Bye bye for now.